Can I say Chris on number 3 or?
Both.
Both, okay. Well, it's been 4 years since the previous album. What have you been doing these last 4 years?
Going crazy.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, it's a break that we needed, you know, and guys have other projects that they do, and
Yeah.
It gives us that time to kind of heal and then come back even better each time. So you can really tell this time, you know, now that we're playing on our own, like the places we're playing are getting bigger and there's more fans, and that's just really good.
You were saying heal, needed to heal. What needs to heal?
From the body and the mind. It's real difficult to be in Slipknot, and we tour very hard, and
Yeah.
I think that you just need to regroup everything, you know, in order to come back to this thing we call Slipknot.
You say body and mind. First start with the body. What sort of injuries did you have that you needed to heal?
I had torn my ACL, so I had to have knee surgery as soon as the tour was finished. And then, you know, obviously the back and the neck and everything else is pretty much just gets shot from being on the road, you know, and traveling so hard. And as far as the mind goes, it's quite a barrage of information, you know, being on tour. It's a lot of cities, a lot of tour, or a lot of concerts, a lot of interviews, you know. It's all of that stuff can, and then plus being away from home, you know, and the things that you're used to and love are separated from you for a long time. It's nice to get back to that and forget about Slipknot for a while.
Do you have to, well, how do you say it? Well, do you have to get adjusted again when you're home, or is it just for you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it comes to a certain time at night, and I feel like I should be playing a show.
Okay.
So I get real antsy around like this time right here, you know,
Yeah.
because we're doing this right before the show. So I feel really anxious and like I should be doing something, and I still stay up really late and sleep, you know, into the afternoon like I do on tour, you know, because after the show you're so jacked up and energized that it's hard to come down. Like you just don't walk off stage and go, oh, I'm going to bed. You know, we're still really a lot of energy and a lot of adrenaline, you know, so it's hard to wind down, and it just carries into that until I get into a regular cycle, which what you call regular, you know.
But do you have sleep problems? Because sometimes people say, well, when you tour, then it's really hard to have that balance between sleeping and performing, and your whole rhythm, your whole day cycle, it shifts. Is it for you too? Sleeping?
Yeah, definitely. It's you try, and sometimes you get a 20-minute nap in a van from the hotel to the airport, you know, and that was the best sleep that you got that week. But the time changes a lot, you know, so it's really weird. And then a lot of times in Europe, like on this tour, like you don't see the sun very often.
Yeah.
So, and we're not really used to that. So, I mean, we are now that we've been over here so many times, but it still gets to you, you know. You wish it could just be a sunny day one time and go outside and get that sunlight on your face, you know.
Well, can you say then while touring that your mind is a bit more, well, dark? I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You know, we're pissed off, you know, but the good thing is that we get to play a show and throw that darkness out in a good way. Yeah. You know, it's almost like therapy. Like, I wish that as soon as I woke up, we could play shows all day long. You know, that would be better for me than sitting around in my own head, which is, you know, not the best place to be all the time.
What do you do then during the day?
Maybe get on Skype and talk to friends and family as much as I can, and my girlfriend, and just try and stay sane, you know. We gamble. Play video games, you know, just whatever we can, not to just fucking lose it.
And when you're home, how much time do you need to adjust to normal life?
About a month. And then then I remember, oh yeah, I have a refrigerator. Like I can buy food and put it in the refrigerator. Yeah. You know, for the first month, I'm waiting for catering or for, you know, McDonald's or something, you know? Yeah. It's really weird.
Well, this new album now, All Hope Is Gone. What are for you personally, playing-wise, for you, the differences between the previous album, Volume 3?
We brought in a lot more instruments this time for the percussion.
Can you name me one that you say, well, on this track we used this and I really enjoyed it, or not? Or
big gongs.
Okay.
Yeah, but played them different ways. You know, played them with sticks and mic'd them different ways, and you know, I played a big, huge drum that was on Joey's drum kit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like during certain parts, I would go sit at Joey's drum kit and play on this, you know, big drum, and so that was pretty cool. Yeah.
And how does it come about? Do you talk to each other? Well, maybe we can do this now.
A lot of it has to do with Sean the Clown.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of organized a lot of different things that come in, and I just kind of sit back and wait, and then just make the best of what we have, you know.
Can you say that in retrospect that the 6th of July in 1998, do you still recall what you were doing?
Yeah, I was an electrician. Yeah, I was wiring houses and practicing with Slipknot, you know, trying to get to Malibu to make the first record.
Yeah.
Trying to save enough money to live out in California for that record. You know?
But when were you asked for Slipknot? Sorry. Should I do it? A little adjustment, I'll do it. That's okay. I thought, okay. Maybe I have my dates wrong, but I thought you were called for Slipknot in 1998. Was it 1997?
I don't remember.
Oh, no, I was trying because
it was like about 2.5 months before we went to make the first record.
Okay. So can you say that in hindsight, it feels it was a turning point in your life?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I knew that being outside of Slipknot and being in another local band, like how great Slipknot was.
Yeah.
And once I got asked to join the band, I got a CD of some songs that I had to learn for practice. And I was
sorry. Another thing happened. I don't think it works properly. I'm sorry. No,
okay.
No, do it good. No.
So yeah, I was bringing those CDs to the construction site while I was an electrician and listening to them, and I remember specifically Spit It Out and just how great that song was, and I was like, man, dude, like this band has a chance, you know, and I really want to be a part of it. So I worked really hard to, you know, be in the band.
And what was your former band when you were playing in?
I played with a friend of mine, Aaron Peltz, and we played in a band called Shed.
Why did they call you?
I don't know. I believe that they had tried a lot of other people around Des Moines, and nobody really fit, you know, and I think I was probably one of the last drummers left, you know, and
who called you?
Sean. Yeah. And it was funny because I had wanted to be Joey's drum tech, and I went to the Slayer show, and I went right up to the Clown, and I said, hey man, I heard you guys got a record deal. If you need a roadie, I'm in.
Yeah.
And Sean had called me, I think the next day or two, and said, hey man, do you still want a job? And I was like, yeah. He's like, well, meet me at my house tonight at this certain time or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well. So I went to his house, and he said, you know, he's like, you still want to work for the band? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, what do you think about trying out for the band? And I was like, I'd be honored, man.
Yeah.
You know? And that was it.
Now 10 years later.
10 years later.
Yeah. How many masks do you have now?
On this tour, I have 3. And I think there's maybe 6 total. And then one got ripped off in Ireland. So there's one in Ireland somewhere. Or on eBay, probably.
What is your favorite mask? Do you know?
The very first one.
Yeah, why? How come?
Just that was the best, like, it was homemade, you know? It was the first one, man.
No,
it's like your first time getting laid, you know? It's the best one.
And Can you say now, because I read different stories about the ideas behind the masks. What is for example the idea behind this sword? I mean, with the nose and with the mouth. Do you?
Everything was kind of bondage style with Slipknot, like that mentality. You know, that darker side of life. You know, the zippers and the hoods and you know, but this mask had been made, so.
By whom? By whom?
His name was Ken, and he was just a friend of the band's that had some leather tools and stuff like that. And so I remember it was just the clown and I in the basement, and he said, "Put this on," and handed me this one. And I put it on, and I instantly went over to the drums and started playing sick, just dun 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 dun. And he was just kind of like, "Fuck, man. You're the guy."
Is it? But do you know the story behind the mask? Because there are certain
this one
theories. I mean, some sort of Italian.
It was just bought. It's called a liar with hat. So it comes. This whole thing comes over your head, and we chopped off the head and made a mouth because it just stops right here. You know, like a Mardi Gras kind of thing, and it has a big top hat that, like, not top hat, but like a dunce cap that comes with it. And we just made it out of that, you know, cut it and, you know, put all the stitching and the rivets and the leather and the zipper and everything and just made it.
Well, I think your first album was released in 1999. 2 years later, Iowa, and then 3 years later, Volume 3, and now 4 years later, All Hope Is Gone. If you compare all these 4 albums, what do they? Well, for example, the first album. If you have to describe it in a few lines, the first album, what is it?
That was pretty much the hazing part for me. You know, oh man, that was a rough time for me because they wouldn't let me record. Like halfway through the record, they just wouldn't let me record on any of the songs, and
because you were new or something.
Yeah, and just, you know, they just weren't going to hand this to me, you know.
So you had to earn your place.
Yeah, absolutely.
How?
Yeah, it was difficult. It's to understand Slipknot back then is really difficult because it's like such mental abuse, you know. Just never getting any love from the guys at all. You know, it was just a really hard time, but I really, really love music, man. So I think that's kind of what drove me, you know, just knowing that song Spit It Out. Like, I just knew that it was special, man. You know, and I knew, and I believed in that song. And because the guys just, you know, I was like, once in a while, like, I'd be driving. I remember driving with Paul, and I was like, so am I going to be number 3, you know, because obviously, you know, like everybody else has a number except for 3.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know, man, you know, you're not getting a number yet, you know, and just shit like that, you know, that constantly was like, I was like, God, man, these guys just fucking hate me, you know, so, and yeah, I mean, it's just crazy.
When was the turning point?
Probably, for me personally, maybe a month ago.
A month ago?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know, man. It's just, I'm just really hard on myself. And so I always thought that it was going to end, you know? But I finally I have come to a time in my life where I'm number 3, man. You know, and nobody else can do what I do, you know? If somebody else was to try and get up there and imitate it, it wouldn't be the same.
Well, you were saying they were really hard on you. Were they also hard on each other, or were they 8 against you, or what was it?
They were hard on each other too, and it was
yeah, because.
But they were together, you know.
Yeah, but Jim also joined later, I think.
Yeah, but I think at that time it was time to go, you know. It was time to, you know, we were getting close to having to go on Ozfest. So I don't think it was just, and maybe it's a guitar player thing too, you know? Like, I don't know, but.
What do you mean? Maybe guitars are more important or something?
Right, you know, it's a big part of it, you know? The percussion sometimes, it used to feel like it was just a side thing, you know what I mean? So maybe they couldn't interrupt his mentality as far as, but, you know, Jim would have to explain that to you. I mean, I don't know, but I just felt on my own that it was always going to end, you know. Now we laugh about it. They're like, "Oh my God, dude! Like, why were you thinking that the whole time? You know, like you're Chris. You know, we're family and blah blah blah." But I don't know. It's kind of, you know, I have a lot to like Jason Newsted. You know, like when I watched that film, I relate a lot to like how he felt. You know, about being like the new person.
Yeah.
So it's difficult, man. But
now
I'm part of the family, man. You know.
And how does it feel?
Great. Feels really good, man. Yeah. Like I actually like have opinions now that I bring out. Like, hey, man, I think we should put this song in the set. You know. When before I was scared to say anything about this band. Yeah. You know, because I just wanted to stay in it so bad. You know, because I just loved it so much. You know, that I would sacrifice myself for anything to stay in the band. But now, I know that I'm an important part of this band as far as even being friends with these guys. So now I feel more like I can present ideas and thoughts about Slipknot because now I have enough time under my belt to where my ideas will be listened to and respected.
Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have to stop now.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
Well, she was really, okay, then my last question. One idea that you've brought into the band now, that you were saying, well, now I finally can say what I want to say, and they listen to me. That's my last question then, because or else I'm in trouble, but.
Oh, I don't care about them. Okay. Like the set list, you know? I wasn't feeling a certain song like a few weeks ago, but I think it's more than the example. Okay, is like how I'm able to do that. You know, like whatever idea it is, like I now have the strength and feel such a part of that I can. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. Like I can voice my opinion, and to have that opinion be listened to and then responded to in a kind way is a humongous leap in my career with Slipknot. Because before I would just sit and just, you know, and not try and fuck up, you know, when now I'm like, hey man, I'm telling you like it is.
Who were the worst?
Who was the worst?
Yeah, for you?
All of them.
All of them?
Every fucking one of them.
For lots?
Yeah. It was relentless, yeah.
So what is the natural hierarchy then? Who's then really the number one of the band and the number, because you felt like more like the outcast. Let's say who were the bosses then?
I would have to say Sean, Joey, and Corey. Yep.
And has it shifted? I mean.
No, not really.
Always been.
Yeah, and but now everybody like kind of feels like I do now. Like I see that, like, hey man, like a lot. We talk a lot more now than instead of just letting certain people run the thing.
But I think that has also to do with something that well, you've been around for so long. I think you've really earned the place. I mean,
correct.
The band.
Yeah.
Because I mean, with one or two albums, then you all may think, well, maybe it's gonna end. I don't know. We have to do.
Yeah, like sometimes you would feel held hostage by the band.
Yeah.
You know, like if one person decided to quit, that it would just be over.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, maybe it would be me too. Yeah. If I quit, you know, maybe they'd be like, dude, we can't replace somebody. It's going to be bad. And then this person that they do bring in injects bad things into it and it just all collapses. I mean, you never know. Yeah. But and that's another reason why I think that we stick so tight together, and it's 9 guys, man. And it's the same 9 guys, you know, since we started touring. Same guys. Same guys.